special forest. The moon peeked through the leaves, making weird shadows dance on the ground. Chief Okon sat by the magic pool, looking at his new tree-like skin. He was angry and scared. His fighters had left hours ago, too afraid to stay. Okon was all alone now. Strange noises came from the dark forest. Was it just animals or something worse? Suddenly, he heard a twig snap behind him. Okon jumped up, his heart beating fast. "Who's there?" he shouted. No one answered. He grabbed a big stick and held it like his knife. "Show yourself," he yelled into the darkness. The forest went quiet, too quiet. Then, out of nowhere, a soft voice spoke. "Are you afraid, scarred chief?" Okon spun around. There stood Kokoma, the river goddess. She seemed to glow in the moonlight. Okon raised his stick, but he couldn't move to attack. The goddess's spell still held him. "I'm not afraid of anything," Okon growled, but his hands shook a little. Kokoma walked closer. Her blue eyes looked sad. "You have much to learn, Chief Okon. Your scars are not just on your face. They're in your heart too." Okon wanted to yell at her, but something stopped him. "What do you want from me?" he asked instead. "I want you to see," Kokoma said. "Really see." She waved her hand over the magic pool. The water started to move and change. Okon looked closer. He saw pictures in the water. He saw his village. People were scared and hungry. The crops were all dead now. Effiong was trying to help, but he looked lost without Okon. "This is happening now," Kokoma said. "Your people need you, but not as you were. They need a chief with a kind heart." Okon felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Was it guilt? "How can I help them?" he asked. "I'm stuck here because of your spell." Kokoma smiled a little. "The spell will break when you're ready, but first you must face your biggest fear." "I'm not afraid of anything," Okon said again, but deep down he wasn't so sure. Just then, the ground started to shake. Trees creaked and groaned. The magic pool bubbled and frothed. "What's happening?" Okon yelled over the noise. Kokoma's face looked serious. "Something is coming. Something old and angry. Are you ready to face it, scarred chief?" Before Okon could answer, a huge shape burst out of the trees. It was bigger than 3 houses put together. It had the head of a lion, the body of a leopard, and the tail of a crocodile. Its eyes glowed red in the dark. "The forest guardian," Kokoma whispered. "He's come to test you." The giant beast roared. The sound shook the whole forest. It looked right at Okon with its glowing eyes. Okon felt his legs shake. For the first time in years, he felt real fear. The forest guardian was the most terrifying thing he had ever seen. "What do I do?" Okon asked Kokoma, but when he turned to look at her, she was gone. He was alone. Alone with a monster that could eat him in one bite. And he didn't even have his knife. The forest guardian took a step closer. His huge paw left a deep print in the ground. It opened its mouth, showing teeth as long as Okon's arm. Okon looked around desperately. Should he run? Fight? Or was there another way? As the forest guardian came closer, Okon had to make a choice. Whatever he did next could change everything. His life, his village, and maybe even his heart hung in the balance. The beast raised its paw, ready to strike. Okon closed his eyes and took a deep breath.